Welcome back to Talk Oxford, the show that gets Oxfordshire talking. And tonight I'm joined by Sarah Neighbour and Jeanette Howes. So thanks for joining me tonight, ladies. The next topic, and we were just talking about it off air, getting a bit angry. So who knows what could happen. Hold on to the set, because it can go everywhere. Oxfordshire traffic and the delays that we are having at the moment. Apparently it's having 40-minute delays in the centre of Oxfordshire. How frustrating is it for you trying to get round at the moment?
Oh, very frustrating, because I drive around a lot in Oxford and Oxfordshire, and you just have to allow so much extra time to get anywhere. And the other week I was doing deliveries, and I just tried to use all the back roads that I knew to go opposite the way to which the traffic was going. And sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not.
It is a gamble. And then when it pays off, you're like, oh, I'm an explorer. When you go the other way, like, yes, I beat the system.
That's right.
How about you, Sarah?
Yes, it's absolute nightmare. I live at the end of, well, at one end of the Botley Road, the wrong end of the Botley Road.
Okay.
And yeah, the delays have been horrendous. So getting around to site meetings, obviously getting down to Chelsea on a regular basis was quite a lot of trouble as well. Trying to time it such that you didn't hit the M40, the M25, and then the M4 getting into Chelsea was pretty bad. But no, it's awful around Oxford at the moment. Absolutely dreadful.
Absolutely, and it takes up a lot of our time. I was wondering, is there anything in this world that you have to do and you're like, this is taking up so much time, this is so tedious, but you have to get it done? What is it for you guys that takes? Have you got anything like that?
Emails.
Any
Emails. No, well, people who don't answer more, you know, because you're chasing people, particularly for me, because I'm doing bookings and appointments, that you're just looking for answers, and you seem to spend a lot of time just going through your emails, seeing who's not responded, chasing them up, and it just seems to take. And I often think, what did we do before we had emails? We had a lot of free time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did.
We had lives.
Yeah,
I've never known it any other way.
Spend a lot of time communicating, actually, don't we?
Yeah.
Whether it's email, text, whatever, Facebook. There's just it's constant.
Yeah.
And I find I do just as much as my teenage daughter does.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's weird, isn't it? Like they say it's social media, but it's making us unsocial. It's deep, I know.
Yes.
But,
I don't know if it is. I think actually it almost makes us more communicative, but in a different way. We talk, and messages are backwards and forwards. Are just briefer, and not person to person as much, are they? They're just distant.
It's strange, isn't it? Because it seems that everyone's in a rush now. They haven't even got time to meet up with a friend. It just has to be a quick, like, how are you? Just dropping in. What's going on? Before you have to jet off to somewhere else. It's strange. But that was a big tangent. We just jumped into social media.
You asked the question.
Yeah, you did.
And now we're going on to another topic about. I read in the news about a 92-year-old lady in the USA who's just completed a marathon. And Sarah, I think I might know your answer to this question, but how old were you? What? I don't know how to word this properly. I was in the gallery earlier. I was like, how do I word this? How old were you that you've had your proudest moment? As in, when is your most recent proudest moment? There you go. That's a good question.
Gosh. Well, I mean, I was proud to get my reward at Chelsea Flower Show. I think one of my most recent proud moments was when my daughter was given the position of head girl.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was very proud of her.
All right, I'll let you have that one.
Am I allowed to have that?
Yeah, go on then.
It's not mine, but
It works. And what about you, Jeanette?
Mine was last year on my birthday, which wasn't a big birthday, but probably, you know, fairly on in my years, that I'd actually been given or offered a British Empire medal from the Queen.
Wow.
Which I collect next week.
Oh, fantastic.
So that was just pretty amazing, really, that I'd been nominated to start with, but that nomination had gone to a panel of people that thought that what I'd been doing, which was for Didcot Christmas Street Fair, which I've organised for over 20 years, and bringing tourism to Didcot.
Fantastic.
Wow, so that was the reason.
Yes, that's the citation on my medal that I will get next week.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So how much tourism have you brought to Didcot?
Well, when I started at Didcot Railway Centre, probably only 4,000 or 5,000 people visited a year on selected days, and by the time I left, 150,000 visitors visited Didcot Railway Centre.
Wow. So no wonder South East snapped you up. We'll have a bit.
Well deserved.
But it is an honour. You know, I am proud of the event that I created in Didcot for Didcot. You know, it was a way of boosting Didcot when Didcot's morale was quite low, and we wanted to have something that that we thought Didcot would be proud of,
Absolutely.
but didn't ever expect it would end up with me getting an honour.
Well, yeah, congratulations. Is that going to be at Buckingham Palace then?
No, it's not. It's with the Duke of Gloucester next week at Bodycut. So the local ones, which are British Empire medals, which are community honours, are all done locally.
Fantastic.
So, what are the main attractions for the South East? What makes people want to come down here?
Oxford is a honeypot, Stratford is a honeypot, and then obviously the coast. And we cover an area from Berkshire, Buckinghamshire and Oxfordshire down to the south coast and the Isle of Wight. And I think it's the quality of our attractions, our hotels and our events, because we cover it all. Everybody thinks that tourists are just people that come from abroad, but actually we're all tourists when we go to stay somewhere, to have a lunch or a meal or use a pub. You know, we all become tourists.
It's true. I mean, I live about 20 minutes away from Oxford, but when I go down there, I'm like, I feel like a tourist, like just walking around, like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So you always find new things, even when you've been there for so long. It is great. But now we're going to move from that onto health and children, because a 2-year-old has been put into care after his parents were found to be heavy smokers. And when I first read the headline, it just said child taken into adoption because his parents smoked. I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be a lot of children being taken away. But apparently they walked into the parents' house and a cloud of smoke was visible. So
Gosh.
Do you think it's fair that the parents have had their child taken away because of their smoking habits, or should he have been kept in there?
Oh, that's tough.
I know,
That's a really,
yeah.
really tough
It's
call.
a hard one,
Because
isn't
it's, you know, the child is going to really, really miss their parents, whether they're smokers or not smokers.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's such a great idea, actually.
Part of you says, why didn't they try and do something about
Yeah.
the parents stopping from smoking in the room where the child was, or in the same area? I mean, I grew up in a house where my father smoked, and I can remember the wallpaper being yellow from him smoking. But I'm sure at that time people wouldn't have thought of ever taking his children away from him because he smoked.
Yeah, different
But
times, isn't it?
Presumably they were
Yeah.
warned.
You'd hope so.
You would
Just
hope
not.
so, wouldn't you?
They didn't just
Yeah.
barge in
Yeah.
there and take the child away.
Apparently
No.
the child as well needed an inhaler to breathe,
Right.
to aid breathing, should I
Yeah.
say. So you'd
Yeah.
have thought the parent, obviously we don't know, but
They
you'd have
must be
thought the
aware.
parent should have or would have made changes to accommodate that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously didn't. But it does throw up that question of when should a child be taken away from their parents and for what reason?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose to a certain extent it's abuse, but it's debatable how. I don't know.
No.
I think that's a really difficult
Yeah.
one.
No, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's also Women's Sports Week this week. Were you aware?
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That's all right. So the publicity's worked then. That's all right. And some famous women, female sportswomen have come out and said that there weren't any female role models for them when they were growing up, and all of their role models were male. So how important do you think is it now for children in primary schools and areas like that? How important is it for them to have female role models to look up to?
I think there's role models in both sexes, and I don't think it matters whether you're a male or a female. I think if you do something that is good and people can aspire to you, that's what's important. I mean, I played sports as a child and as a young person as well, but didn't ever think, well, I'm going to follow this person or aspire to be like that person. I just wanted to be the best that I could be in my sport.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I've done quite a lot of. I've done lots of long distance cycling, and I've done London Triathlon and things like that. And I wouldn't necessarily say it was the female sportswomen that were missing necessarily in terms of inspiration. In fact, the fact that it was quite those two sports are quite male dominated was huge motivation to try and do as well or prove yourself as a female within a male dominated area. So, but then I think Jessica Ennis has been amazing as inspiration to young girls for sport. So. Yeah,
I think anything,
big up the women.
Yeah, anything that encourages people to take up sport is to be commended.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what about you? When you were youngsters, who were your role models?
Gosh, my parents.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Well, because I did sports, Jimmy Greaves was one of mine. Because I was in London at Tottenham, because I won the sports award from the school and he presented it. So I think you aspire to those sort of people that go on and keep going in their sport, and I think that's the important important thing, I think.
Yes, yeah, no, I would agree. I played quite a lot of tennis, so Chris Evert was the star, and Virginia Wade. I think Virginia Wade went to my school for about 6 minutes. So yes, I think having those people, watching Wimbledon. I can remember watching Wimbledon avidly every single year and desperately wanting to be on centre court.
Yeah, brilliant. One day. We can dream about it during this break. So time for a quick break now, but please don't forget to get in touch. You can tweet us at That's Oxford TV, email us on news@that'soxford.com, or find us on Facebook. We look forward to hearing from you.